So if
Yeah.
it'd be cool. It'd be cool if your book got to 100K before you totally closed it all out, though. That would be awesome. I mean, you're like only
Yeah.
13K away from there. You know, you can do 13K.
Yeah. I guess I could. I don't know, man. I feel pretty tapped out. Like I'm like, coach, I've been playing so hard for so long.
Right.
But
Well,
I
well, I mean, once people start having the books in their hands, that's where you pick up
yeah,
that extra 13. You know what I mean? Once people are like,
maybe
"Oh, I have a copy of
we'll
this now.
see.
I've read
Yeah.
it. Holy shit, this is so much better than I thought it was going to be." You know,
Yeah. I
it's
like your
gonna do
cat being the co-host. What's the name?
it. This one's Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray's our co-host. How cool is that, everyone? I like that. All right. So this show's called Two Guys with Cats. It's gonna be a very sad and lonely show. I'm just kidding. It's horror talk.
It's horror
Saturday
talk.
first. It's horror talk.
And tonight we're featuring a very special comic. We've talked about this comic briefly on Horror Talk a few times. We talked about it on Indie Comics a lot, but tonight's different because this comic is done. Done.
Yeah, I guess
So
so. Yeah.
let's listen to the trailer. Let's do this.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I know you've heard it
This
enough
again.
times, right?
Is this again, everybody?
Almost eaten by a werewolf, seduced by a succubus, a drug deal with a vampire, charades with the Slender Man. It's all in a night's work for Dr. Wyatt Black, also known as Monster MD. Hi, I'm Von Klaus. I recently finished work on John Malin and Mark Polton's Graveyard Shift Volume 2, and I'm here to share a comic that is going to rock the indie scene with you. Monster MD is a story about Dr. Wyatt Black, a fallen from grace surgeon who's now the underground doctor to the local monsters. Coupled with his invisible surgical assistant, Heidi, he gets into hilarious and horrific misadventures in monster mending. Dr. Black wants out of the game, though. He doesn't think he has what it takes to practice cryptoecology. But when Heidi is kidnapped by his worst nightmare, the monster killing madman that took his arm and ruined his medical career, he must depend on his paranormal patience more than he ever thought possible. Will Dr. Black be able to confront what scares him the most for the very monsters that he wants to give up on? And is Heidi hot or what under that invisibility? I've been making comics for years, guys, and it's all led up to this. My most ambitious project yet. With mind melting art by Marco McCagney, who you may know from Zombie Tramp and Vamp Blade, colors by the incomparable Tanya Wicker, who did flawless work on The Signal, and letters by Eric the
Blah, blah. Oh my
This is
God.
a high quality
Just go
indie
on
story
and
with a
on.
heart that you do not want to miss. Not to mention, it has nearly every monster that you've ever loved.
Just buy it.
That horror movie Easter egg galore.
Stop, dude. I can't stand it.
A fully story out cliffhangers, all within 111 pages of action, comedy.
Can you tell I'm done with this book, man?
Yeah, I can tell you've had enough of
Can you
it.
tell
Yeah.
I'm over this book? I love this book to death,
Into
dude.
monsters tell me this
I love
book
it.
has everything.
It's a
they
great
love
book.
and a
This is a really cool book.
Can I count on your help to bring this monster to life? Evil is definitely.
I'm looking
Okay.
forward to my copy
Can-
of it. That's for
Thanks
sure.
so much for your support.
Well,
guys.
thanks. This book, now that I'm finishing it, I have like a new perspective on the whole thing as I flip through it. And it's just really cool. Like, this book is the kind of thing I want to see out there in terms of like art quality and story and humor and action. And it has all the things I like, and it's done well. And I'm proud of that. My team made that happen. And it's just cool and weird in all the best ways, man. Like, this is what I like in indie comics. This is my style, I guess. So I'm really proud of it. So
You should be. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things to be proud of. I mean, I mean, first of all, the premise is brilliant. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then a character like Heidi is also like like a really, really awesome touch, because obviously, you know, an invisible chick that's super hot It's like she takes her clothes off and she's naked, and you're like, wait, but you can't see anything. You know?
Yeah, man. I wanted to get away with as much nudity as I could in this, and I figured this was like a cute way around it. But it was a couple things, like a lot of things in life. It's a combination of things. But I knew he needed a hot sidekick, but I also love the Invisible Man, and then I thought a hot invisible chick is just too fun to pass up. Like, it has to be that. I didn't even go over any other sidekick ideas. That was just the best one. It was one of those moments when I knew Monster MD was special because the ideas came so easily and were so fun. And I was like, I'm just going to keep following that and see if that ends up being a book I want to commit myself to and end up making, you know? Yeah, I knew it was
by the way, hi, Sim.
Hi, how's it going?
You showed up when we were watching the thing. Yeah, no, I am seriously looking forward to reading this. I mean, I already know like a lot about it because we've talked about it a bunch of times, but I am really stoked to actually read it, and and I really want to see it as a cartoon. I really want. I mean, I can. Cool. I mean, even if it was just a Halloween special, a little like 30-minute Halloween special, that would be awesome. But I could totally see this being a like a Thursday night movie, Thursday night television show, or even I would say a Netflix series, but this is not really a binge watch thing. This is more of I can't wait for the next episode. I need it now kind of thing. So like an Amazon Prime series would be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm open to things, but I want a lot more creative control than they might give me. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to be an asshole about it, though. I'm going to try to be like wise about it, but I don't want my work going through the filter of big Hollywood and coming out something else on the other side. Like, that's part of why I'm Comicsgate. Like,
right.
I don't trust Hollywood. I went to my stories literally like goes to film school, makes like a little bit of movies, starts getting his name out there a little, and then just goes, wait, no, I don't want to go out to LA. I don't want to do the film world. It sounds awful. I don't want to be a cokehead.
I can understand that because I love filmmaking, but I hate Hollywood. I lived there for a while, and
I'd get Me Too'd so fast out there for like just giving a chick the wrong look as I talk to her on a film set or something. Like, it's just awful out there, man. You always have to live with like 18 other fucking roommates everywhere and stuff in California. I'm making my dreams happen.
that part was fucked up. It was a 1-bedroom apartment with we got permission to like divide one of the rooms with a freaking makeshift framework wall and stuff. Yeah, that was
great times had by all.
Yeah, exactly. and you're paying. I
figure
it was crazy.
I'm gonna make stuff here in good old Oklahoma, and they can come to me if they want it. We'll talk, but I'm not like totally pumped to get in bed with them. Let's just say that I want to do my own thing. I want to make my own books.
And that's the beauty. That's the biggest and most awesome part about the internet today. You know what I mean? And streaming services and stuff like that, because give it time. Hollywood might be the center of movies right now, and New York may be the center of broadcast television right now, right? But that can't last forever. I mean, at some point, there's going to be someone picking up that slack. I mean, Chicago had TV for a long time in conjunction to New York. What's up, Brian?
They did. Hey, what's up, bud?
What's up?
Good to see you. And your Donald Pleasance visage.
Hold on a second.
It brings me comfort.
Oh man.
I always love Donald Pleasance, don't you guys? Like, everybody always just loves him.
Oh God, yes.
Oh God, you gotta see, like, you're a nerd when you're telling a chick, like, you gotta see this. It has Donald Pleasance in it. Like,
oh, dude. I've got a friend who's like a huge Donald Pleasance fan. There's a great movie with him called Deathline, also known as Raw Meat, and he absolutely steals that movie.
I love it.
Yeah, he's great. originally, actually, it was Peter Cushing who was supposed to play Loomis, like the part of Loomis in Halloween that was written for Peter Cushing, but he retired, and so they got Donald Pleasance. And yet you can't imagine anyone else playing Loomis other than Donald Pleasance now.
Truth. Very true.
So how's things? Monster MD is in the final stages of production, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've gone to print. API is talking with me daily, figuring out any little like quirks before we like hit the button. But yeah, man, like they have it and everything looks really awesome. So I've never been more proud, man. I've never been more proud of anything I've made, guys. Like I feel really humble and like just like a better artist. Like I feel really proud of the work I did because it sharpened me, even though it was like grueling for a long time. It's been worth it. All the weird personal things that have happened to me from like starting this campaign and now ending it has been really weird. It's been a really weird thing, man. My relationships have been weird. But like the friendships through Comicsgate have been amazing. Those have been the most normal ones. Like on the outside, which is like not saying much.
I know, right? A bunch of freaks like us. I know.
But the thing is like, and then the outside world ones have been so like not good. They've been so wacky. I don't know. I'm so sick of them. But that's cool that you guys are here to keep me sane. Talking about art, talking about movies, things I can relate to. I can't talk to people about this stuff around the office. They'll be like, "What?
I know.
Go feminism or something. What?" Like they're just they speak a different language than me, and I can't do it. I can't do it. So yeah, thanks for letting me be me, guys.
Yeah, whatever I say around the office gets a response above meow because this is the office. So
at least you got company, man. I got no critters. I'm looking forward to like COVID lockdown winter with no critters, just me.
You know what? At this point, I think I could use a vacation from critters. Let's just, you know what I mean?
I hear you, man. If you live around the block, man, I'd take some off your hands. You know that.
Oh yeah, if I lived around the block, they would just mysteriously appear in your house. You'd be like,
oh man!
Wow, I'm glad I don't live near you dudes. I can't handle the one cat. Like this guy's too much. Jasper, jeez, he's amazing. He's got his tail wrapped around the microphone right now, like he's my agent or something. Like you look at me in the eyes right now, just staring. Like, yeah, that's right. Keep delivering that book. Yeah, keep feeding me, human. Clean my shit box.
Don't forget, you're my bitch. That's the look he's giving you.
Yeah, I get it. I get why the Egyptians are said to worship them. They were letting us know, like they were warning us, like we will worship them.
Oh man!
I to me, it's real obvious that like we see the hieroglyphics as worshiping, but as soon as you've been a cat owner for a while, you realize that it's not actually worshiping. That's just how cats are.
Yeah. Yep. And they didn't worship cats. They had, of course, a cat god, but Bast, I think. But you also had Anubis, who was, I think, a jackal-headed god.
Yeah.
But they did make, and I love this. They did make mummies out of cats.
Yes, I've seen those.
And they mummified.
I think they're in New York.
Right? And what I thought was also really cool was they made little mouse mummies. So that so that their cats would have like something to fuck with like in the afterlife.
That's funny.
Yeah. They loved them, man. They love their kitties. Like when their kitties would die, they go in the morning and shave their head.
Jasper, I am not making mouse mummies for you.
That's so we're clear.
Do not look at me like that, bro. Do not tonight. I don't need this. I'm on air, dude. Come on, chill.
Yeah, I won't mummify my cats, but I do pay to have them cremated, and I intend to, like, when I'm laid into my coffin, I intend to have all these little like cat cremated boxes surround me. So if I get to be reunited in the afterlife, I can find them easily.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
Must love. That's heartwarming, right?
Yeah. So that means before you do that you have to save all of your cats that you lose? in boxes? Like, do you have a garage full of cat ashes?
You know,
No.
I'm the only not cat lover here. I'm a dog cat type of guy. I kind of feel outcast.
Well, I like
dude,
I like
we love
dogs too.
too.
You are.
I'm
We love
joking.
dogs too. It's just the people that aren't cat people have never met a cat in a dog's body, or I should
I
say, a
did.
dog
That's
in a
what-
cat's
that's what-
body.
That's the only cat I loved. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
See, yeah,
the dog
when you-
cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love them. I love them both. It's just cats are lower maintenance. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I think one of the great things about dogs, especially if you're living with some shit like depression, it gets you out of the house. No matter what, you need to get your ass up and you need to take them for a walk. And I think that's a positive thing. It's just I don't want to do it. Too high maintenance.
Yeah, I actually my dog Peanut, the one before she passed away. I wish she would have gone on walks. Her fucking fat lazy ass. She would when she had to pee, she would get up, walk to the fucking bedroom, and just tinkle, and like not even like tell me that she needed to go potty or anything like that. She used to follow the lead. I had a Pomeranian. Peanut was a Chihuahua. And I had a black Pomeranian before as well. She passed away also. But Peanut always followed Gypsy's lead. So like when Gypsy had to go potty, Peanut would just go then. So Peanut never really learned to tell me that she had to go.
Oh, that's brutal.
So Peanut never learned to tell you that she.
How do we
pee.
segue from the animal peeing
That was nuts.
into Monster MD?
Well, there is poo. There is poo.
There is a poo joke in Monster MD.
There's a poo jar.
It's a poo jar.
There's a jar full of it.
There's a
Now,
picture of the poo jar.
What kind
even.
of poo
Is there? Did I put the
designate
poo jar in there?
we've seen
That
it.
sounds like me. Okay. I don't know, man. Like this I don't know if it's on here, but it's a very defining scene. Oh shit, there it is.
There it is.
Okay.
See,
So
we didn't
in this
hallucinate that.
world, when they take on the monsters, it needs to have like this basis in science fiction that's a more like, I don't know, like something that can make a bit of sense, that gives it a little groundedness. I love shows that have that feel, but they're still fantastical at the same time. So they have this jar of fertilizer that they use for whatever. And he's like, you're going to need to get that and use it. And they, around our offices, we rename things goofy shit all the time. So I figured they would just call it the poop jar, just as a little inside office joke. And then that's where that comes from. They have to use the fertilizer against this golem that he's taken on. Because there's something in fertilizer naturally that breaks down what golems are made of, clay. So it's like, I like stories that have characters that have to have solutions like on the go that are actually like applicable in science to monsters in a fantastic way. So
because that's
kind of what I went for. No, sorry. That's just kind of where I thought some of the charm would come from with the story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's always one of your questions, when, especially like in the 50s monster movies, like, okay, what is that monster's kryptonite? Right. Yeah. And the Thing, for instance, the Thing from Another World, the old Howard Hawks movie, it was electricity, right? So they just juiced him up, and then like James Arness just shrank until he was like a dwarf, and then he just disappeared. And then the lamest ever was in the Day of the Triffids movie, where it was seawater.
Oh yeah, or like in Signs.
The water was a weapon in Signs. Yeah. Let's say hello to everybody here in the chat. We got Joseph. Hey, what's up, man? We got VIP. What's going on? We got Lothar D. We got Hex Allen. What's up, Mel? And see here, Felix Haas. Yeah, we got some cool people hanging out. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. Yes,
most definitely. Yeah, really looking forward to this book, man. Like I said, rather have it in the past.
It means a lot that you guys like it this much. Like it's for flattering because you guys are such horror aficionados. You know your stuff. I like respect you and your ideas, your thoughts on things, and like to have you like my book this much is Like it's an honor. It means like in a way the horror community cares. Like you guys came, you showed up, and I appreciate that like a lot. You have no idea.
Oh man, anything monster related, of course. I'm going to be all over like stink on rice. But I wouldn't be surprised if you did I mean, now of course conventions. Who knows when those are going to ever happen? But if you did some horror conventions, I could see this like.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
that
crazy.
would be
Absolutely.
fun, man.
Well, there's a lot of there's a lot of
thing.
conventions that are crossover. They're comics and horror, and this would go over really well in that.
Oh wow,
I think
that's
so,
where I
too.
want to be. That's my sweet spot.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
this.
so
Sorry.
go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
I'm just reflecting as I look at this, and this made me a way better artist working with a great artist like Marco. He did such a good job. I think I learned a lot of things from him. I hope learned things from me. He was really into this, and I think the final product shows that he wanted to capture the passion I was writing with his passionate lines. So it's a deadly combo, man. That's part of why Tales from the Classroom hired Marco and me to make a short story for their next book, man, for book 2.
It's so great.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be a great one too.
It's going to be good. It's a hot story, man. I hope people talk about it. I hope it's like
with the mummy bus driver, right?
It's exciting. It's a fun one. Yeah, the lowly redneck mummy bus driver, Cletus,
right.
And like that. Have you guys ever met anyone in life where they do like a really menial job, but you have this weird feeling that they have this like epic backstory and they're like really intriguing people?
Yep.
Like I love those people. Like, and you meet those people in the South and Oklahoma, and there's just something so great about them. And I'm like, dude, that's what Cletus has to be. Like, he has to be like the guy you don't take seriously. He just drives the bus. You think he's an idiot because of his redneck accent. But like his backstory is one of like grand, like fall from grace, like magic and twists and turns and betrayal and love and lust. And like, it's like, and like running for his life. And it's like the most epic, like adventure story told in like 12 pages like I've ever written. Like it's only 12 pages, but it's like this spanning, sprawling, like fall from grace, fall down the pyramid, if you will. He's literally at the top and then he makes some bad choices and things fall down, go boom, gets a little crazy. But yeah, man, like that Marco came on that and we didn't even get to talk or anything. It was all between him and Rob Muerto, and Rob Muerto has done a really good job with this second book. It looks like all the scripts are really good. The art's great. The colors are great from Tanya Wicker from Monster MD. He brought her on too. Wonderful. He's making good choices to make a cool monster book, man. I think they're both like a natural fit. And then bringing me on was an honor too, because I love getting the right for his universe that he's making because it's fun. It's cool as hell. People should check it out.
That's always fun when somebody invites you to play in their sandbox.
Yeah, it's like an honor, man. You're like, oh, yeah, okay. I will be good to this.
We had him on last week. We were actually featuring his book last week. So, was it last week or the week before?
That is cool.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And the first book was just wonderful. Really terrific.
Yeah, man. I want to see this take off more because it deserves it. It's a cool book.
It will,
And and back to Monster MD, this taught me how to be a better comic writer, I think. I think it shows by the end of the book. I feel like a little clunky in the beginning sometimes when I look back at my beginning because it was it was just written so long ago. And even though I've polished it a million times, it's like still felt like a little wordy, but hopefully not too wordy. I mean, you got to understand I was writing it and hearing Ryan Reynolds' voice for Wyatt. Now everybody says they hear my voice for Wyatt. I'm like, that's really cool. Like, I'll do that. I can be that. That's like flattering. So yeah, he was a little wordy, a little Deadpool-ish. I mean, really, I was just finding Wyatt's character, kind of a brilliant mind but kind of like fed up with it all, kind of a punky attitude because he's kind of fed up with his job. Sometimes he's tired. He's definitely not getting paid well enough for what he does. He needed to have more of that like blue collary kind of. That's something I think I'm going to be doing across my work. Is I have more of I like more of the blue collar people, and as the type of jobs that I've had to do a bunch of nasty, weird things to get to where I am now over the years. So it's like, I don't know, that just appeals to me in what I make. So
Right.
he couldn't be all fancy with a tie and like a nice laboratory. Everything had to be kind of dingy and falling apart and rusty, and like he's barely keeping it together. Okay. Which that in itself, I think, makes for a cool mad scientist type character.
Very
He doesn't
intriguing.
have a castle. He's got a freaking truck and like, a really limited budget. And that's why he cleans out the Wolfman that he saves at the beginning of the story too. Like he throws him his wallet and he's just completely emptied it. And the werewolf's like, "Is there anything to get home on?" And he's like, "Yeah, your feet." So he's fed up, and he's just like milking them at this point, kind of being a jerk. But yeah, he doesn't realize how much he needs them, and they definitely haven't shown how much they appreciate him lately. And Heidi's kind of the only one who does. They have their cool little relationship thing. I like stuff with like a little hint of a romance tension to it, or just romance in general.
Yeah.
I'm not like ashamed of it or anything in my work. I think it's kind of can add a little, if it's not all romance,
Right.
I
As
just
long
like
as
a
it's not
dollop.
schmaltzy. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
It can be done right, man.
It gets pretty romantic actually by the end. I gotta admit, like kind of insane. But it was too cool to pass up this idea I had. But I'll say no more. Let you guys enjoy it. Yeah,
Well, we're looking forward to it, man. Really, I mean, it's gonna be some. I see. Here's the thing: is like now everything's anticipation. We can tell it's going to be good art. We can tell it's going to be good story because everyone's talked to you enough times that we know what we're getting as far as quality, but
Right.
we don't know what happens yet because you haven't given us any good spoilers. So
I
so
hope.
we're all waiting for that. And then when people actually have the books in their hands, that's gonna blow up. I mean, I kind
I
of
hope.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
dude.
if you overprint enough, if you overprint enough, I'm pretty sure you'll after this thing is released and in people's hands, you'll get to that 100K mark. So,
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, you're not that far away. You're not that far
Really
away.
close,
You're
bro.
less than 1,300. You're less than what? Less than 3,000.
Damn.
So you're under 4,000 away. So less than 3,500 away. So.
I mean, it's so nice to hear you guys say this, but I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Well, actually, you're less than. Wait. Let me correct that. You're,
100K.
you're less than 2,500 away. So you're less than.
Okay.
I mean, that's $2,500. Come on,
Yeah.
you're gonna make $2,500 when people get these things in their hands. There's
hope
no
so.
doubt you're gonna. That's 100 copies at $25, not even including shipping. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Just on the logic that you would move another 100 books after they got there, yeah, definitely.
Without
That's
a doubt.
definitely going to happen, without a
With-
doubt.
Without a doubt. And you're going to get such a rush, man, when those books show up. That's going to be like a rush when you open your door, hear the doorbell ring, and there's going to be just some mountains of boxes. Be careful with your back.
My sweatpants.
Yeah, 12 my math was bad. It's actually 1250, but it's still.
But once you start seeing your book in people's hands, and you start seeing the YouTube videos, and you start seeing the Twitter posts with your book in people's hands,
I'm
that's
sure
going to be the real payoff, brother.
I'm kind of curious to see how people who want to skewer it, like the ones who like just want to be nasty. Like I want them to skewer it. I want to see what they say. I'm really curious.
Well, who do you
I don't want there to be too much hype. It's
Peter?
not like I'm Shakespeare or anything, but like I did my best, I feel like
That's
I'm a
what-
better writer than ever now, but this was a long time coming. This story's been around for years and been worked on for years and polished to death. And I think it's really cool. And I don't know. I feel like people at least enjoy the ride and some of the funny weirdness of it, and can get into the world, hopefully. If so, hopefully they'll come back for more, man, because I want to make other stuff that's like this, but maybe not a Monster MD sequel right away. But I still want to make Like,
what was the thing? What's the thing you're working on? You were talking about on Twitter, haunted castle or something. What's that?
oh, Vaughn, I was just thinking about bringing my YouTube channel back as Vaughn's Haunted Castle and just
Oh.
like interviewing people and doing rants on stuff that I'm just, you know.
Oh, I
don't
see.
wanna
I was
comment
thinking.
on.
I was thinking Vaughn's Haunted Castle was another comic book project that would have. I was.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've got some ideas for some projects, and I've got projects in the works behind the scenes that are like really cool. That are like, I think they outdo Monster MD in terms of design and beauty and coolness. I think people are going to really dig it. So I'm excited for that, but I'll announce more later.
yeah, for your YouTube channel,
Can't show it yet.
If you've given it that name, that means that you always have to appear on camera in like a dime store, like Dracula costume. You know, like Count Floyd from like SCTV with like the widow's peak and everything.
Yeah, you need one of those little like cardboard backdrops. Is that like a,
Yeah,
like a stone wall, little stone wall cardboard backdrop?
Oh, scary.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would be badass.
You
Without a
can,
doubt.
get, you can get like a couple of lights with those little like fake LED flames. You know what I mean?
And you know,
yeah.
and you're cooking with gasoline when the book hasn't come out and Heidi is already like the breakout character, is already like the cult character. Because how badass is that, man?
Yeah, well, I hope, but dude, no pressure or anything. But I wrote a story that sums up like how she looked and how she became invisible, and I just totally blew my load. I could have held on to that for like 2 or 3 more books and been like, I don't know, maybe I'll do the Heidi tale until like the fans demanded. Then I'll ruin her for all you guys later. But no, I'm gonna ruin her now. No, I'm not. I do not plan to ruin her. I plan to make you guys love her even harder. So I wrote.
Right, so for those of you who are wondering, so there you we just made an exclusive. Vaughn blew his load on Heidi and did not ruin her for you.
Yes,
that's right. She's still as beautiful as ever and hard to see after a shower or whatever.
But we know she's got a booming figure.
But yeah, that's the beauty of Heidi is like you're pretty sure she's got a good figure, but you're not for sure. You just gotta imagine, kiddo.
Hey man, it's a little mystery. Is always hotter than.
And you can fill in the blanks with whatever you want. That's the beauty of Heidi.
Yeah,
exactly.
Listen,
she is every woman.
See, the first question I would actually wonder and have wondered is, does she shave? She's invisible. Does she shave?
Well, does she shave? Yeah, man. Yeah, she knows. She has all kinds of cute tricks around the house that you would not believe for getting it done. Yeah.
But also, her hair must be invisible, right? Unless she's shaving her head.
It is.
Right? So presumably her body hair would be invisible too. What I loved about the Invisible Man, the H.G. Wells story is how he actually goes into like, okay, like how could a human being actually be invisible? And the Invisible Man, I always thought was transparent, that you could like see through him. But the way Wells describes him, he has basically his skin and his hair and everything bends light. So it's like remember like the Predator, how the Predator makes itself invisible? It's with this device that bends light. It's like sort of like that.
Yeah. That's kind of what happens with Heidi a little bit. Like I do my version of it.
Not trying to
like Monster MD flavor. Like I like take things that we're familiar with, like the Invisible Man. Like I don't know if that many people know that actually remember that part, but I always thought that was fascinating. The idea of something that you're not seeing through as much as it's like bending the light. I've been fascinated with that forever. So yeah, of course my Heidi had to have that.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's one of the things I always loved about Wells was the fact that he would go into like, okay, well, how could this actually happen? Right? Like, if you had like the technology and all that stuff. Bronson Gorilla and the Hizzy for Shizzy. What up, Bronson? Thanks
Oh,
again for that wonderful, wonderful Six Gun trailer that you made for me, which is super badass. That's going to be the trailer, I'm sure, for the next Six Gun book.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think that it's really cool how you have all these little like well-known tropes, but every single one of them has a little bit of a different spin. And you didn't use like a common spin, you pulled your own like new spin on them. I think that's really
Tried.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to kind of prescribe myself rules and then just like live up to them, like give it that authenticity, I guess, for the world. It helps
absolutely.
people get into it more, I think, if you can abide by that.
Absolutely. No matter how fantastic your world is, it has to follow a certain set of rules that make sense in that world, no matter how fantastic it is.
Yeah, definitely. And I just like had my stuff that I liked where it's like, it's fantastic, but there's like, we have a hint of science involved. Werewolfism is lycanth simplex, also known as furry herpes. Like, it goes away, then it comes back.
Oh no.
And like there's stuff like that. Like he's got to have names for it. He's got to have, there's it's got to be its own fun world, right?
Right.
While being pretty familiar, because the monsters are like the vehicle of familiarity that bring you people in, if they're into monsters, which seems like, people who dig them in general, pretty successful. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was like setting myself up for fun too. It's like, dude, this is a playground where I can do whatever take I want on whatever monster for whatever book. My next book might be vampires. Even though I was hesitant to do that because it seemed obvious, like vampires, like everyone does vampires. But it's like, yeah, but like you need to see my like Vaughn's drug addicted vampires.
Yeah.
It has to have a Monster MD spin to it.
And they're so simple that they're open to such a wide variety of interpretations.
Yeah. And there's always room for more vampires as long as you don't make the mistake of running over something that's been overdone. You know what I mean?
Making them sparkly.
Making them sparkly, doing another Dracula or doing another, you know what I mean, that's been done a million times. You know what I mean? It's like doing, trying to bring back Lestat or that kind of stuff. Just something that's already. It's like no. Do your own vampire. Create your own thing.
Mine was going to be about.
I think I nailed that.
Be about like slummy drug addicted vampires in the inner city who have to get humans high on this intense drug that turns their blood blue, and then the vampires bleed them dry while they're high out of their minds, and drink the blue blood up and get really high themselves and get addicted to it. And it was going to be called Blue Blooded.
That's what I was going to say. After True Blood, Blue Blood.
Yeah, Blue Blood.
That sounds great.
I read a like when I was a little kid, I always thought that if I was going to make a vampire movie, I'd want to kind of follow this model a little bit. When I was a kid, I think I was maybe 10, 12. I read this story about vampires, and then their thing was they had to have virgin blood. It had to be virgin blood, and they had to have blood of the opposite sex. So men could not digest women's blood, and they couldn't digest non-virgin blood, and women couldn't digest
blood.
Yeah. So and they had to get the blood as close from either the neck where it was like nice and fulfilled, but if they really wanted to have the blood, they had to get it close to the genital region that was in the book. You know what I mean? So like they had to get like right down in
writing
there.
Porn before?
No, this was a freaking show. This was not a porn. It was not a porn.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's just busting balls. Have you guys ever seen Blood for Dracula, also known as Andy Warhol's Dracula? That's
Andy
with
Warhol's Dracula. No,
Udo Kier. Yeah, and that's you can only drink virgin's blood, right? So he goes to this town, and there's all these virgins, but unfortunately, like himbo, super hunky Joe D'Alessandro is there, and he is like deflowering all the chicks before Dracula can
that was one of the themes in the book is like everybody who, like, when they found out the vampire was there, they were all trying to lose their virginity so that they would be safe from the vampire. And then it was like the church right, was like making a big thing because they were like, oh no, vampires aren't real. You must hold on to your virginity, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah. Then it turned out that one of the priests or one of the fathers in the church, they weren't Catholics, they weren't priests, right? But they called them fathers. So I think they were Methodist or something. It turned out to be a vampire.
Interesting.
So yeah, I wish I could remember the name of the story. I would totally like say it if I could remember the name of the story. So
I like the ideas of like vampires being like these weird, almost zombie-like outbreaks, you know, like where people are just biting people and being more
I Am Legend
superstitious in like a hotel. Yeah, I'm a big Richard Matheson fan, and I Am Legend's probably one of my favorite books, maybe. So that's, but like I like the idea like of like a bunch of goth kids like doing like a goth con. It's like a cheesy goth con, and it's got like goth rock has-beens signing autographs for money type thing, and like
you see, I prefer the type of like ancient creatures that predate mankind type of thing. Like, beasts, like vampires, like Carpenter's vampires and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great one. What I love in the novel for that, right? The S at the end of vampires was a dollar sign, and the hunters were more like hitmen.
Yep.
And the way they would kill the vampires were master vampires were way more powerful. And the story opened with the only way that you could kill the master of vampires was to kill them with sunlight. And so the story began with them trying to get this master vampire out of like a cathedral, right? Like a decommissioned cathedral. And what they would use was basically a sharpened baseball bat that they would fire, and that would have these prongs that would come out, and then that would be attached to a winch, and you'd have to drag them out, and they'd be like clutching onto like the stone walls and like digging furrows into them with their fingers.
So they did something similar in the movie, but
yeah, because at a smaller budget, But I love John Carpenter's vampires. I think it gets a very bad.
I thought that was so.
I like that movie.
The Jeep in front with the freaking crossbow goes inside.
Yep.
Limit.
Yep. And how the master vampires had like this goth Eurotrash sort of look to them. I loved it.
They don't sleep in coffins. They sleep underground.
Oh, of course. There's that wonderful shot that looks like it's right out of a Mario Bava movie where they come out of the soil. That's actually more like Lucio Fulci. Actually, like this image, like practically from Zombie in that.
And that comes from the idea that when they go sleeping under the ground, because the worms, all those type of night creatures also regenerates them. Like your sleep regenerates you.
Yeah.
The reason why they would go sleep underground is because the night creature regenerates them the same way.
Right.
So that's why they do it.
Right.
And I always thought that was freaking amazing. That's why I like the bestial type of one,
Yeah.
That's the one that always fascinated me. Like I read all of them. Like I like the Japanese one, the Chinese one. Remember the one that loses their head when they become a vampire? Their head separates from their body and start floating.
They
have like spotlights out of their eyes.
Yep. And then there's like the Chinese hopping vampire. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one. They're like, yeah, those are great.
I always just like punky vampires, like from Lost Boys, was like what I thought were the coolest ones, man.
I was gonna bring those. I was gonna bring those up. I was gonna bring the Lost Boys.
I would want to be if I had to be a vampire, I would be a punk vampire in the 1980s.
But that's why in Blood Hunt I brought them all in. That's why there's all of them in. Like you have like the ancient bestial type of vampire. You have the infected one. You have the Chinese one. You have the one that are more like ghoulish that need to freaking like mend new pieces to their body just to keep going. And I just decided to put everything in there because I'm like, I love all of those versions. I'm like, but what if we do the universe that they're all there with all type of supernatural creatures? So you can have all type of werewolves. That's why when you see the werewolves in Blood Hunt transforming, you have two different types.
Right.
They transform differently.
Right. It's so much fun. Like I said, it's how many pages? 73 pages, 74 pages?
I really loved the gang stalker element of Lost Boys. You know what I mean? Like that was a really like cool thing. It was because usually when you have like vampires, it's usually like the head vampire. It's like he's the stalker, or the individual vampires are stalking. You know what I mean? The whole gang stalk element was really cool. Like they hunted in packs, kind of thing.
I like Lost Boys, but man, Near Dark for me, which came out at around the same time.
Great.
Boom,
That was great.
blew that out of the water, man.
Near Dark
Holy shit, those were brutal, scary vampires.
The bar fight.
Oh yeah, that's such a gruesome scene.
The bar fight scene was the best.
Oh, and I like the fact that they also tried.
Yeah,
I also like the fact that they brought that in Blade. Remember in the movie?
Yes.
And that stayed canon after, because it was not something that was actually relevant before in the comic. But then they brought you have the true, how do you call it? The True Blood or something like that. And then you had the bastards.
True Bloods, and you have the ones that the ones that are born vampires and the ones that are turns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a cool way of doing that.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, when I say that that scene in Near Dark isn't a fight, I mean it's so one-sided. That's just a slaughter. It's so brutal, man. It's so brutal. And Bronson Gorilla mentions one of my favorites, which is Fright Night. Absolutely,
Fright Night is fucking amazing. The classic.
You guys ever see that cheesy one from the '80s called Vamp?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. It's actually okay.
It was. I thought that it was going to be a lot better when I watched it. I mean, when I look at it back, when I watch it again, you know, I'm like, okay, this has got all these little like weak moments in it. You know what I mean? As far as like movie production goes, but the creepy factor was really high. The sexy factor was super high. The only one I say would probably be sexier was the Bordello of Blood. That was actually super sexy.
And then there's Fright Night 2, when it first came out, I thought was hot garbage, and I watched it again recently, and I actually really rather enjoyed it.
That's been happening, hasn't it?
There's another vampire movie that I watched the first time, and you don't understand. Like, if you don't pay attention too much, like you don't notice, especially the one that was not the one that was released, because on DVD they kind of had a new edition. It was Ultraviolet. When you would first see the movie, right? In theater,
was it Ultraviolet based on a comic series though?
No, it's the other way around. It was a comic book, and it was made to look like it was a comic book.
Yeah, like a live action anime.
But the thing is, when they came out in movies, they had an edit where it didn't make sense. You didn't realize that they were actual vampires. In the final edit, they added a few scenes where you see the infection happening. And then you're like, that's what was fucking missing in a goddamn movie. Because now you understand that they just tried to tell you a new take on vampires. And it was really sweet, but it ended up being more of an eye candy than, the story was not developed enough. But
yeah, and the plot is taken right from Lone Wolf and Cub, which isn't a bad thing. Same thing with The Mandalorian, love it, but it's Lone Wolf and Cub.
But you have to admit, it was one hell of an eye candy.
Oh, fantastic!
The anti-grav bike.
I loved it. I thought it was like an eye-popping live-action anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Carmilla needs a good adaptation, says Thomas Salinas. Absolutely, Vaughn. 30 years before Stoker. There have been actually a bunch of good Carmilla adaptations.
Yeah.
There's the Hammer Karnstein trilogy, which is let's see, Vampire Lovers, Twins of Evil, and I'm forgetting what the third one is. I think it's maybe Countess Dracula. And then there's like a modern version of Carmilla that's absolutely astounding. I think it's one of the best horror films of the 70s, called Let's Scare Jessica to Death. If you've never seen Let's Scare Jessica to Death, check it out. It has moments that are absolutely incandescent, like breathtaking. And if you grew up during the 70s and 80s and watched a lot of TV commercials, it has the Goya Oboya chick in it.
The Goya Oboya?
Goya Oboya. Am I the only one? Is that just an East Coast thing, maybe? I don't know. It might
so-
be.
It sounds like a Jewish thing because isn't Goya like a word for
No, you think of
for
goy or goyim. No, it's
Yeah.
it's a goya. It's
a Goya is not mean
Spanish
like
for
a okay. So I thought Goya meant like she's not Jewish kind of thing, but different.
cause. Yes, Bronson Gorilla agrees with me. Let's Scare Jessica to Death is awesome. Yeah, so there have been actually quite a few There's a new adaptation of Carmilla where she isn't a vampire, which doesn't really interest me, but evidently it's sort of more about the sexual subtext that's beneath it. Because Carmilla, in case you folks didn't know, is the original lesbian vampire story.
Did someone say lesbian vampires?
Yes, I did. Oh man.
Lespire, man. They're a genre unto themselves.
Oh yeah, and then there's Vampires with a Y, which is also very, very well worth seeing, which is by Jose Larraz, I believe. That's from the 1970s. That's really, really interesting.
Okay.
And brutal movie. And a lot of skin, of course. Lots of skin. Gotta have the skin.
For MD, vampires are like these slumming like punks on the street that are like addicted to blood tablets that he gives them. He's like
oxys
on them, like to keep them going. Man, it keeps them from killing people. They're like addicts for people, and they gotta get off people. They gotta go turkey on people.
Well, when you look at the modern vampire story, the modern vampire is almost always a metaphor for drug addiction. Almost always.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Dracula, Dracula was more sort of like the seething sexual underbelly of like Victorian England. You know what I mean? Like what you get when you have like such strict repression. Right, repression breeds monsters, and there was like the Victorian repression breeding.
Right.
Yeah, there was. I remember when we discussed Dracula. When we discussed the first Dracula, it was something about women's liberation, like the first women's lib book or something, as they were trying to say. It was something like that. I don't know if that's accurate, but I know that the tropes when I read it, the tropes were a lot stronger than in any of the movies I'd seen. Where as far as what was it? It's not Mina, but her friend Lily, right? That was Lucy. That's right, Lucy. That was she got a little bit wild. You know,
yes, she did.
A little bit wild.
Yes, she did.
One of the last modern newest vampire stories that I read in comics was American Vampire by Scott Snyder.
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, it is. I really like the first few trades. I still need to catch up to the rest of the story, but it was really, really freaking good.
I want to see a combination.
The name of the character is called Skinner Sweet.
I would love to see a combination between of like tropes, like the movie Heathers combined with like a really good like hardcore vampire movie. You know what I mean? Like that would be an interesting. Like instead of him being like a serial killer, he's a vampire, and he comes into their school, and he kind of like people like killing themselves, but they're food.
Hey man. As long as the vampires don't sparkle, and that's one thing I'll say about Blood Hunt. There are all kinds of vampires in that, except the sparkly kind.
Yeah, and he killed them on the print.
He
killed both of them on the print.
Oh man,
yeah, he's like sliding down the wall with like a hole in his head. Yeah, Blood Hunt's just a lot of fun. Holy crap, man!
Yeah, it was my big middle finger to Twilight. It was like let's make vampires cool again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Morbius. Oh, I have such conflicting feelings about the Morbius movie.
If it ever gets finished.
Well, I think it's finished. It's just that they're sitting on it, right? I
thought that it hadn't officially gone into post production yet, which means that they're not finished.
Like,
I haven't heard any post production.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was never a big fan of like Morbius, but am I mistaken? But there was a moment where I think it was Straczynski, something like that, the painter that used to do comics back then. That's like a very like sketchy and scratchy a bit. I'm Sienkiewicz. Thank you.
Sienkiewicz, yeah.
I'm not sure if it was him, but I remember vaguely. But they stopped doing that. He was an actual vampire there. Like he would actually bite people, drink their freaking blood, and he had to keep it in control. They stopped doing the sucking through the fingers.
Oh, that was from the cartoons. That was from the cartoons. In the original Michael Morbius, in the original Spider-Man comics, he was a guy who turned himself into a vampire by accident through science.
Mhm.
And the reason he was called Morbius, the living vampire, was because he wasn't one of the undead.
Yeah, but I mean, but
Didn't
before
need
you would still not drink their blood.
Science.
Technically, they would not show him biting. Would
Well,
they?
I mean, there's only so
That
much
was
that
the
they could show, but it was suggested. I mean, he had
Mhm.
fangs and everything. And then like the sucking the blood through the fingers, that was never in the comics. That was just in the Spider-Man cartoon. And the action figure too. The action figure, he had his hands out like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So while we're taking a quick little moment, a segue here, I would like to remind everybody that Monster ND is backable right now. It's still backable. It's been in demand. I'm sure there's at least one or two of you in the chat that have not backed it yet. Let's see if we can we can raise these numbers up a little bit. All right. Because this book is worth having. You're going to feel like an ass if you don't get it. You know what I mean?
I don't want to tell everyone they're going to turn into a donkey overnight just because they didn't get my book.
Yeah.
But if you get it, you're going to have a pretty cool book on your shelf.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. If you get the book, you're definitely not going to turn into a donkey overnight.
That's right. I promise. I'm going to put that guarantee on every book. I tell you. I'm going to have to stamp that on every book now. Thanks. Man, I don't know what else to say about this. I feel like this book has all kinds of weird stories. If you want to hear any of those, I don't know if you give a damn, or maybe I've already told them.
No, of course we do. Why don't you fill us in on something here and is something that's not visually communicated already?
Well, this is the second version of the book, in case anyone didn't know. I've said this a few times. In 2014 or 15, I made the script. I started the book with a different artist. We got up to 75 pages, which was a ton of work, ton of money, ton of effort, because he really wasn't. He started turning in less and less good pages, and I started just drawing it all myself and filling it in and like picking up the slack. And then at the end, he took some money from me. He said he had to get the last. I kind of held the last 5 pages hostage on me, and said he had to get some money from me before he could do them. And I was like, that's not the arrangement. But he insisted it was for something personal in his life. So I helped him out. And then he didn't really turn anything in. So I was like, man, I've got like all this comic and like the very end isn't done. Man. This is the worst. Like, he put so much effort. Like, and I was basically drawing pages for him by the end. The last things he turned in were like chicken scratches, kind of like a screw you from him to me. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I could be like a real bitch about this and just give up, or I could be like, hey, this book was awesome. There's something special here. I know this inside and out. Like, I know this is good. Like, if I could get Marco, I will redo the whole thing. I'll start from square one and take that chance. And I did it. And here we are. Like, I think we made something even better and more amazing, man. And I don't know. This has been hell, but I really love how it came out.
Well, you have every right to be proud of it, because it does look amazing. Like I said, I know the story is going to be good just from what I've heard of you telling us of just the amount that we were able to pick out of you. And it's I mean, I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be funny because and dark. Definitely. I mean, that's the thing. It's because you're funny and dark. So
that's the thing that interested me the most about the book is the fact that you look at it like it looks like a cartoon, like you would like an animated cartoon, like it could be an animated movie, right? Mm-hmm. But it drenches with dark humor, and I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for dark humor, and you got me with that, dude. Come on, to me, yeah,
it's great to hear. I love my dark humor people. Like, I always get along with those people so much faster than the average, like, you get a humor person. I'm just like, let's get dark. Yeah. Like, sometimes I have to
dude, it's the best.
People, but with you, it's just like, you just roll. Awesome. Love that.
Yeah, I love that you brought in the fill her lungs full of smoke thing. That's just funny.
Yeah.
I've always loved that, like, since I've seen it in other movies or whatever over the years. I'm like, dude, you don't see that anymore, but it's such a cool way to intro a character.
Yeah.
Me,
What
my
it
fa-
was like, it was the Invisible, no, the Memoirs of Invisible Man with Chevy Chase, I think is where
Right.
I remember seeing that.
Man, I thought
And then he
Right.
ate something and then it grossed him out and he puked.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
he's-
say Hollow Man. I was gonna say Hollow Man because that's like one of my favorite Invisible Man movies.
Mm.
Because they did
Yeah.
something so different with it, and he's so fucking psychotic at the end. Like,
Yeah,
he
really,
actually scares you. Like,
yeah.
you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
he got to be I think they took his character where they should have taken the original Invisible
Yeah.
Man. You know what I mean?
Like, he
Like-
loses his mind. Like,
Well-
he technically goes in, like, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for people that haven't
agree.
seen it too much. But go see it if you haven't, because Hollow Man was awesome. It's one of my favorite Invisible Man movies.
Yeah, I think it's funny that they really haven't done an Invisible Man movie that goes off of all the like the high school bullshit Invisible Man stuff. You know what I mean?
High
Like,
school.
Yeah, when you're in high school, all the stuff you think about when you think about an Invisible Man. You know what I mean? Like hanging out in the girls' showers, all that kind of stuff. Now they did do that with the character on The Boys.
I'm sorry,
Right?
they did that. They did that in Porky, and it didn't need to be invisible.
No, but I'm talking about with the ninja, right? Like, with the
Porkies.
Porky's was funny.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it, but it's true.
He puts his cock through the freaking shower thing and they grab it. She's all like the lady's gym teacher grabs the just like
I'll never
tugs on
forget
it.
that beauty mark.
She's all like Tommy it was Tommy Turner. I know that anywhere. It's like, why would she know his dick?
Bring the police sketch artist. I know it's down to the very detail, every wrinkle. So everyone's just looking at her going, oh.
They're laughing. They're like in there laughing. I remember they were in there.
Yeah.
They were just busting up in the office. That movie is great. Actually, all those Porky movies are great. I mean, those.
You know, the one movie most dudes want to borrow from my DVD collection is Porky's. Like especially when they have a wife or girlfriend, they're like, "Dude, can I get that Porky's off of you, man? That shit. I don't remember movies like this, and I need to like refresh myself on like being able to laugh and not take things so seriously."
Another one that I had forgotten that we brought up in one of the shows was Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah, that's funny. The
That
original
was- that
one
was
is
hilarious,
hilarious. The part 2 and part 3 were weak.
Not so much,
But the first one was absolutely gut busting hilarious. And at the time, what's funny is now nerds are like a popular thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like culturally like thing. Then nerds were so socially outcast at the time. I mean, so when that came out, it was a completely different movie than if you watch it now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the rape scene. and the cameras in the sorority. Ooh, that kind of stuff would not fly in a movie today.
So yeah, dark humor, very fun.
Yeah, that movie is great. So let's see here. Did anybody back this yet? Come on, let's get some of these sold for him here. Yeah, nope, not yet. Somebody going back to book. Buy a book, buy a copy so that he can feel good about selling one today. Come on. We're celebrating.
Sorry,
that
guy,
this thing is
I
done.
already backed it.
And me too. I would back it again, but I already damn backed it.
Welcome back, Brian.
Back with my green tea. Thank you.
What's up?
What's up? How are you doing, Simon?
I'm doing good. Getting
Excellent.
some work done. Did you see the painted cover I'm getting done by Inkspot?
No, I don't believe I did. Do you want to share your screen?
He's doing a paint over my pencils.
Oh, interesting.
It's gonna be the cover for Tales from the Adverse too.
Oh, nice. How's that campaign going, by the way?
It's doing okay. Right now we're almost at we're less than like 300. We're not even like 300 away from the 5K, and we have 9 days to go. 9 or
Nice.
8 or 9.
Nice. Excellent. Can't wait to read that, man. Oh, Metal Movies and Brewski's in the house. What's up, dude? And wait a second, how did this conversation in the chat suddenly go to like from like horror movies like Police Academy 5 and like Meatballs 3?
Because we were talking about something, and then we
we were
compared it to
talking-
Porky, and then boom.
Yeah, that's your ladder.
Okay,
we-
all right,
we-
perfect. As long as I know, just so that you know, as long as that blank has been
It's
filled
probably
in.
because we're talking about Monster MD, and like you got to talk about the horror, but you got to talk about the comedy and the weirdness. Like,
Right.
Absolutely.
Like-
And go ahead.
those are the best movies. Like these are the awesome movies that people should know about too. That's why I'm like glad you guys know them. Talking
Oh,
about
Can you share my screen for a sec?
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, there you are.
Whoa. Oh man, that's
And
beautiful.
Katana and Gun. There you go.
Inky
Yeah,
did this.
Yeah, Inkspot is where he's doing technically a simulation of a Frazetta type of painting over my pencils.
Oh
Whoa.
right. Oh,
That's gonna
man.
be rad, man.
Right.
So
That'd
that's
be
the entire scene of it
Oh, beautiful.
with the pencils.
Oh, that's gonna be. Oh,
Fire.
So he's doing
I
that
can't
one,
wait
and,
for this.
and after that one, he's gonna be coloring this, the one I'm working on right now,
Oh wow.
as a
Okay.
paint over.
Oh, yeah.
Another
Hell
paint over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Remember the
Yeah.
Royal that I shared not too long ago? That's what
Yeah.
inspired that a long time ago. So I'm finishing it
Dude.
off. I'm gonna give it to him. He's gonna do a
Nice.
paint over of it.
Nice.
He did a paint over for me. I had Marco sketch up something, and then I was just like, "Dude, just paint over this," and he did great. Like he
Oh.
did
Yeah.
great stuff. It's a
Hey.
cool little. I put it in the main book. Like it's a cover for the Heidi story, actually.
Nice.
Ink-
Too cool.
Ink is one hell of a painter.
Yeah, he really
Yeah.
is. We haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I know he and Roddy are working on something, and I got a privileged little
Cool.
peek, and it looks amazing, man.
I
Looks
can
amazing.
tell you
So-
that right now he's gonna be doing a cover every issue of Nadverse and pretty much for every book I do.
Nice,
So
nice.
so since we're doing little peeks and little teases and we're on horror talk here,
Hmm.
this on Saturday I was shooting a horror themed music video, and it's obviously not done, but I figured, you know what,
Okay.
I'll give you guys an exclusive tease. You guys ready?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I have a boner already. So I met my last girlfriend.
This doesn't have
the sound.
much better
Not
that
the
way.
music, I know.
These guys just coming up. I'm trying to sleep in the cemetery. Would you let me alone?
Oh God.
Yeah,
I know
no,
a chick in the scene who like said she like blacked out one night and woke up in the cemetery lying on top of a tomb without her top.
Yeah,
Dude,
that sounds like a little bit of what was it, like, is it Night of the Living Dead? Is that the
Return of the
Yeah.
Living Dead.
Return of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah. Tear the clothes off of me.
Ah.
Bronson Gorilla mentions Messiah of Evil. Yes, that is a really incredible little movie that used to be really hard to find. It's written and directed, I think, by William and Gloria Hike, who went on to do Howard the Duck, which pretty much put the kibosh on their careers. But Messiah of Evil is a really interesting little movie. Definitely check that out if you can find it, folks. And it also has Walter Hill, you know, the director of 48 Hours and Streets of Fire, all those cool movies from the 80s. He gets killed at the very beginning of that. So that's like another little factoid.
So if you don't like his movies, you're gonna want to watch this.
It's really creepy though. Like it's one of those movies that I originally saw on one of those like 8-disc box sets, you know, that were like all the movies were like public domain and like often like shitty like VHS rips. And Messiah of Evil was one of the movies that was in one of those packs. And man, like really genuinely creepy, like really impressed me. I don't know if you guys remember those. Those oh man, I got a whole bunch of them here. I don't really watch these anymore because I'm all spoiled by beautiful like, Blu-ray transfers.
I'm surprised you have room in your room for your collection. I'm just saying.
It's pretty massive.
His room is probably the size of a full apartment.
It's pretty big.
It's probably a big loft, like the entire
It's-
basement. Like,
But I don't know if you guys remember these, right? These were like big old like 10 packs. I said 8 packs. No, they were
Mhm.
more like 10 packs.
Dude,
And-
so you're who were buying all those all the time, man.
Yeah, man.
That
Well,
market going. I think I bought 1 or 2 of those in my times of like when I was dating a chick who was into horror, and that's like I had to keep feeding the beasts. Like we were running out of horror, and I was like, "Give me a 10-pack!" Ah! That's like who those are for, and you, of course.
Yep, absolutely. And then every now and then, it's just like you'd get like a beautiful like a DVD transfer in these. So you'd basically buy these, and like 8 out of the 10 movies would be crap, but there'd be like that 1 or 2 little gold nugget that you'd find,
Right.
and one
Like
of
a
those was
collector's
Messiah
item.
of Evil.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's cool, man. Like
Night
those
Train to Terror.
bring back like warm memories. Actually, those box sets where you're like,
Yeah, for me too.
oh, it's like blizzard outside. You can't do nothing, but you got stacks of horror, baby.
Yep.
Chicken
30
wing.
movies, bitch. Right there. 30 horror flicks.
That sounds
Yeah.
fun. Man. That sounds like a fun way to like hang out with your girl. I don't
That's
know.
like
man,
that's like
most
that's like
definitely.
two that's like straight two days of fucking film watching, just like straight 48 hours of like
Absolutely.
Boom, boom, got you covered. Hopefully some sex in between. Got you covered, girl. Got
Oh,
you
yeah.
covered. Yeah,
That is that is how like a lot of my relationships went. It was like sex, breakfast, watch a horror movie, have sex again, have lunch, watch a horror movie, bang again. And, it's kind of
that's a
that's the way to
that's-
live, man.
state of blissful relationship, but then you have to go to work at some point. Right?
I know. That's what
unless that is your job.
yeah, man. Oh yeah. Well, nowadays you can monetize that shit and just like put it on like OnlyFans or something.
You get a hot girlfriend who wants to do an OnlyFans, and there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
No. I'm not sure my lady with nobody, no matter how big of fans they might be. I'm her biggest fan, you understand? I get
we
private
understand.
access to what she's got.
Well, dude,
She gets private access to mine. Works out.
now she's hooked up with a celebrity comic book writer. Oh, Driller Killer, yeah, Bronson Gorilla. Driller Killer actually recently played at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City at MoMA. So it's like it's official now. That was also one of the original video nasties. Those movies that they were like the police were like crashing into like video stores in London and like pulling movies off the shelves. That was one of those movies.
Man, I want to reach that status with Monster MD someday.
Right? When it's being, I mean, that's why I've always said I envy the fuck out of like the British horror
Cops
fans.
pulling it off the shelves, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
think about this.
Bring it.
Right? Right? It's just like, I mean, I know like I and my friends, we felt we were watching something forbidden watching some of these movies. They were breaking the law.
Yeah, awesome. I bought
fruit.
I got a piratey version in a nasty cheap case with a obviously cheaply printed cover and backing off eBay for Shogun Assassin, which is like the best. It's like my favorite movie.
One of my favorites too, man.
It's so good.
Oh, it's
And
so
like
awesome.
I raised my little brothers on it. They got too into samurai stuff. They got way too into samurai stuff. And I was like, as a good big brother, it's only decent of me to satisfy this samurai fantasy.
Yeah, boy.
So I got him these bamboo training swords and these samurai pants, put them in the backyard. They beat the hell out of each other, screaming, crying. The neighbors are freaking out. Like, it's a disaster. Like, this did not work as planned. Like, they didn't learn anything about honor. It was just one kid hitting one, and he would scream in pain and cry, but then he would get ferocious and go "Rah!" and cuss, and then the other one would go, "Whoa," and then run. As the berserker one chases him down, hits him, and then he gets berserk. And I'm just the back and forth white kids being samurai.
Oh wow.
And
God.
yeah.
Crazy.
But
That would
that
be-
movie inspired like me and my brothers. Like we loved it, and yeah, it inspired a lot of violence too. It was great.
We were
Got the Blu-ray.
yeah, used to watch Kung Fu Theater every Saturday morning because they would have back-to-back two episodes.
Yeah.
You know, it would start off first. It was Black Belt Theater, then it became Kung Fu Theater. And I don't know
Yeah.
why it changed. You know what I mean? But I know that it was always 2 hours of karate movies that always had the voiceover, right? So we thought that's how it was done. So we were totally like kids, and we would like, you know, like pretend to be these little like ninjas and karate dudes and whatever, and we would talk with voiceovers.
Yeah. Like move your mouths around all.
Yeah, it'd be
fun.
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you.
My mantis is better than your tiger style.
That's
Yeah.
probably just how we look at general on these streams to people.
And sure enough, I got the Kung Fu 10-pack.
Oh, that's a juicy pack you got there, sir. Don't take that wrong.
Yeah, man. I don't. Not from you, Vaughn. Not from you.
Thanks. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, Shogun Assassin, man.
I
Like,
love
oh. And there's
And,
no
and I don't care that you have it on Blu-ray. I have it on the superior version, man. VHS, dirty pirated copy from some like back alley in Britain, probably. Like,
I have it
think
on-
I have British
Oh,
postage
I have it
now.
on VHS too. I have it on
Yeah,
VHS
I have
too.
I have a
Almost like-
collection. I don't have a VCR anymore, but I have a collection of
Neither do I.
videotapes that I recorded off of cable for years. Like,
Oh my
there's-
god.
Like there's like 3 movies on a tape, and there's probably something like 70 tapes, and I don't even have a VCR anymore.
I know. I know. That's what's crazy is I do have it. I kept all my tapes, but I don't have anything to play them on.
Well, no, I figure someday I'll come across a VCR, you know, when the world apocalypse happens and we're all in dystopian society, and you know I have to get a solar panel to plug in so I can watch
Right.
something, and I'm extremely bored. I'll have a nice
Right.
collection of movies.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. No reason not to. Bronson Gorilla mentioned Sister Street Fighter was in a lot of these sets. Actually, no Sister Street Fighter here, but the Street Fighter with Sonny
Wait,
Chiba.
what, Bronson, you actually have a Betamax?
A beta? Damn!
Shogun
And beta
Assassin.
was the better format too.
Yeah, and actually Betamax was a better format, but it was more expensive. That's why they went to
Yeah.
VHS.
Yep.
Porn chose VHS. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
it went
yeah.
out.
Yep.
And my dad even got us in on laser discs, man. We have like this weird laser disc collection where you like
Oh, that's
take
awesome.
the giant CD and flip it over if you want to watch the rest of this movie. And it's so weird. But like
That's
I
the
loved it
reason I
as a
never
kid.
bought one.
There's something I liked about it as a kid. I was
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, I mean, the picture was beautiful, but I remember thinking like, I'm gonna wait until they perfect it, and then I'm gonna get that right.
Yeah.
And that ended up being DVD.
right. Yep.
But I remember
They're
watching
weird.
like,
Very big and thin down the movie. It's
Yep,
just a
yep,
weird record
yep.
collection, essentially.
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger than LPs. Yeah.
And if a movie was long or the resolution was like maxed out on it, if like George Lucas was like, I want max res on Laserdisc Star Wars, which I think we had, like you would end up having like 4 or 5 discs, like heavy as a kid. You're like, ah, yeah, I want to watch Ben-Hur. Let's see what happens. Like, it was like Gone with the Wind, like on Laserdisc came in like a crate,
for a cinder block.
That's because laser discs were the first of those kind to have the built-in projectors.
Mm.
You know, because they were actually supposedly, you know, like they were supposedly originally designed to take the place of movie theaters, you know, film, but they could never reach the actual 35 millimeter quality that you could get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
was-
but
good
But-
idea, just couldn't
Yeah.
happen yet.
right, but nowadays they do run discs. You know what I mean? They do run 8K discs. So it was, you know, they knew it was going to happen. It's just that you know the technology they had at the time wasn't strong enough. So
Makes
you know,
sense.
but
Yeah.
yes, but they did have small projectors, little household projectors. So like when if you had a you know, in the late 70s, early 80s, if you had a home theater, you were likely watching things on Laserdisc.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bronson
Or,
Gorilla.
or if you're at school and they wanted to teach you about sex or the ocean, sometimes they'd reel out like a weird laser disc.
Really?
At my school, yeah.
That's awesome.
Is it awesome? Yeah, we thought it was, I don't know, it was kind of weird.
Bronson Gorilla says he has 2 beta machines. Why? In case one breaks, obviously. You watched Munchies on beta recently? That's depraved.
2 beta machines, like I would have like at that point I'm thinking his beta machines are like Japanese fighting fish, you know, they're actual beta.
I have 2 beta.
Yeah, it was supposedly the superior format, better picture and everything, but
but
our-
the Simpsons said it best when the guy was ripping off their house and he looked down at what he was carrying and he said, "Oh no, beta."
Munchies, by the way, was one of like 100 Gremlins direct-to-video ripoffs that came out.
Yeah, I liked Munchies though.
I don't think I've ever seen Munchies. I've seen Ghoulies.
I love Ghoulies.
Ghoulies is actually fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That one was kind of crazy. You know,
Ghoulies 2 is cool too.
Yeah,
some of my favorite horror movies were in the 80s. They were just cheesy enough. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, campy satisfaction.
House.
I think that definitely had an influence on Monster MD, but I wanted to refine that away from just like I was going to play off a camp, but then I was going to give these characters real human moments and real like cool science moments. You know, that ground it, but yeah, like I mean, it's ridiculous too. Like he's trying to like give healthcare to these monsters and figure out their body. You know, he has to know his stuff, and it's totally like weird.
I would love that if they did that more in horror movies. You know, make them a little bit better movies overall. Although I feel as though there's probably 2 reasons why they don't. You know what I mean? There's probably 2 reasons. One is it would probably require the overall better actor. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the other reason is I think the fans would be lost because I think the majority of horror fans prefer the movies to be lowbrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we can relate to that, and like we can relate to like things like Evil Dead that don't take themselves too seriously.
Right.
Ash vs. Evil Dead is a great example to me of like horror and comedy coming together in a really good way. Like knowing when to have your serious freaky moments for the horror of it, and then knowing when to laugh your ass off and break that tension and have fun with it, not take yourself too serious, be an action hero, be a badass, you know?
Yeah, in the 80s, it went too far, though, right? In the 80s, it's like horror movies started having so much comedy, they stopped being horror films.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I loved about Hellraiser when it came out. Because it came out right at that time where it's just like every horror movie was a horror comedy, and Hellraiser was like, fuck you. And it was just like right in your face, man.
Hellraiser was a mind fucker at the time. Today I don't really see it. I don't really see it as harsh because I don't know, maybe because it's just like there's too much shit has come out since then. But
you have to remember when it came out, though.
Right. Well, no, they did some clever stuff on Hellraiser that I got to give them props for, man. They kept showing their progress on special effects to the people with the money. And so the people with the money were going, this looks good. Here's some more money. And they milked them a little more so they could push those special effects to where it needed to be. So it actually like kind of blew some minds a little bit on the special effects front. It might have won awards, but also something that was cool about it was it brought like some melodrama a little bit too into like really intense, creepy horror and kind of more like heaven and hell, like sexiness instead of like your classic slasher guy. I thought that was
totally original modern demons. Right?
Yeah.
And that's tough to do. And boy, he did it with those like S&M outfits. And and the Cenobites themselves weren't even supposed to be like the main like the franchisable character was supposed to be Julia, right? Yeah. And instead it ended up being the chief engineer, aka Pinhead, because that was just the character that caught people's imagination. And that's the thing. It's like your creations can get away from you.
Mhm.
And like I said about like with Heidi being like the breakout star, the character that just grabs everybody's attention and imagination, that's something that you can't do on purpose in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just something that just you have to have a special kind of creative alchemy, I think.
I think what it is that it took another bite into horror from a direction that hadn't been done a lot, and that's the direction of torture. You know what I mean? Like we've seen a little bit of light torture here and a light torture there. Maybe it's a torture scene in a movie. You know what I mean?
But also,
when all the demons are based on like severe, what can be visually identifiable torture
with the pleasure. That's the thing. That was the really perverse angle. It wasn't just torture like, you know, like with the Saw movies and that sort of thing. It was pain and pleasure. And how these Cenobites were like mutilated in such a way that they'd be in perpetual pain. And boy, they were getting off on it.
Yeah, bizarre.
That's Clive Barker. You know what I mean? Clive Barker was a very fresh voice at that time in horror when he came out with the Books of Blood. And those were just like, they were very different, you know? They were.
That movie holds up, man. I swear that movie holds up better than you would expect. And if some of like the sound or some of the film quality might seem a little low budget and dated, it's got that grain, which I think actually is charming and part of the aesthetic.
Right.
Lends itself well to the horror, and then like the passion and the lust, the kind of like, because the lust is not depicted as beautiful. It's
ugly,
like sweaty and horrific and like awesome and like It's like
anyway. Metal movies and brewskis. I'm sorry, dude. You were gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, when I recommend it to young people who are telling me they're into horror and haven't seen it, they all love it immediately. Like it holds up that well, which I think is cool.
The second one does too. Third one, not so much. The fourth one I thought was hot garbage when it first came out, and now I actually really rather like it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and Metal Movies and Brewskis mentions Midnight Meat Train. Holy crap! Nice. Absolutely was passed over by me and just about everybody else. That is a superb recent, by recent I mean like in the last like 10 or 15 years, recent horror films. And I almost didn't watch it because it has Bradley Cooper in it, but he's perfectly fine. Folks, if you haven't seen Midnight Meat Train, definitely, if you're a horror fan, definitely check that out. I wouldn't say it's a buried treasure, but it's definitely a buried gem.
Yeah. A lot of horror fans are digging that one, man. It's got a kind of
it's very good
happening. Yeah,
and it's based on a Clive Barker story, and it's directed by this Japanese cat, the guy who directed Versus. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I have Versus. Yeah,
right.
That was a big one with the action back in the day.
Yes. It's directed by that guy, so it's like him with like a budget. And he definitely makes the most of it. It's a really, really creepy. I mean, there's some shitty CGI gore, right? Which always puts me off. So there were a couple of moments, you know, like where Vinnie Jones, who's terrific in that, by the way, you know, just the physically intimidating presence, hits somebody in the back of the head with a hammer and their eyeball pops out. I think it's because it was in 3D. I think it was one of the first of like the new 3D movies.
Yeah, people needed to chill with those 3D eyeballs coming out of stuff.
Oh God! Well, I mean,
like the new Mad Max movie. Did that happen in the new Mad Max or no?
I don't know, but I think of Jaws 3D and how cheesy all those 3D moments were in that one.
Dude,
it almost spoiled the movie for me because that was a decent movie, but then it's like.
But then you've got, then you have from around the same time Friday the 13th Part 3D, which has awesome 3D moments. I mean, that's something I would love to see retrofitted, except that costs like $2 million. Evidently, Richard P. Rubinstein retrofitted Dawn of the Dead into 3D and spent $2 million on the process. And now he doesn't know what to do with it. So the odds of us getting a retrofitted Friday the 13th 3D is slim and none.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's got like, you know, like shit constantly going into the camera, and it's fucking hilarious. There's a moment in that where like Jason is squeezing this motherfucker's head, and the guy's eyeball just goes pop,
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay. So like 3D is a trope that's been
That's
around for a while. So 3D is cool, but you know what I'm really waiting for has not. I've seen little shorts. I've seen little 3-minute bits, but I have not seen anything full length yet. Would be a VR horror movie, full VR, actual. Put the whole thing on your head and experience the horror
that's
movie.
inevitable.
Fuck me. You know what I mean?
That's inevitable.
I'm waiting for that. That's gonna be fucking tits.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have people having heart attacks everywhere.
Woo! That's gonna make the news. That's gonna boost sales.
And then you have to ask yourself, are you going to get any? Because it's a gimmick, right? Like same thing with 3D. It's a gimmick, right? Let's make when Jeffrey Katzenberg was like, "This is the same as going from silent to sound. This is like going from black and white to color." It was like,
I see it.
No,
I see
bitch.
it. No. This just think of it like this. All right. I do see it as being a big jump. I see it working for horror first. Like horror could be the genre
And porn.
that the porn of everything. Porn's first.
Yeah, porn first.
Pass. Okay. Porn's
Porn have been added already.
Yeah,
Right.
porn's already got it mastered. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
For all practical purposes,
They're just waiting for the rest of people to catch up.
We just assume that.
for purely entertainment purposes, though, I could see.
You guys,
I could see
speaking of technology and porn, I searched something I really shouldn't have.
Oh God, what about Odorama?
I searched deep fake porn.
Oh no!
I didn't know. I was kind of like chuckling, not even thinking anything would come up.
Wow.
I didn't know you could watch all these celebrity chicks
Right, because there's technology now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
There's
think
a whole bunch
about
of that.
It's like nothing they can do about it. And imagine if it's you.
Oh, dude, you just blew my mind. You just blew my mind. Holy shit.
You know what Brian's gonna be doing tonight.
Brian, we all know your search history before you do. You know what I'm saying?
Right now, man. Right now.
You can wait till the show's over, buddy.
Dude, it was oh my God, he's just sitting there crossing his fingers. Scarlett Johansson. Yes, I saw Scarlett Johansson.
I actually,
that was one of the first ones. Yeah.
I actually never actually searched for the deep fake porn, but I actually ran a Gal Godet, whatever how do you pronounce her name? Ghetto, whatever.
Ghetto.
Yeah,
whatever.
I was like, I ran across one of her. I was like, holy fuck! I mean, seriously,
guys, it's all downhill from here. Now that we're doing deep fake porn,
it's fascinating. It's fascinating because remember when people as extreme it got was people doing celebrity fakes with Photoshop. Now people can do that shit with video.
Yeah, it's
scary.
It's scary. It is. It's frightening.
Do espionage out the ass with this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's people
blackmail, man.
There's people out there experimenting with their sickest, most twisted fetishes. You know what I mean? And that's the scary part. But so I could imagine a horror film. Let's just think think a paranormal, right, where you got noises going on, or a stalker movie where you're playing the role where you're right there with the victim. You know what I mean? And then you could usually set up a 3D thing where you have a room full of victims. You know what I mean? Like Scream or anything like that. And you know what I mean? And yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could really you could really do with VR that can't be done with a regular movie. Oh, the surround sound
VR games, yeah. Right, what
it's like to write in that for that, because you're gonna I think it's just becoming a cyberpunk reality. You know what I mean? You might have to write about it in different movie or comic roles. And how do you want to do it? Well, the question is, how do you want to do it as a writer? How would you portray a VR world someone just steps in?
That's the question that I have is that going to attract any real artists? Is that going to attract a Cronenberg? Is that going to attract a Carpenter?
I think we're going to be able to find a brand new Carpenter, a brand new Romero when that comes out, because it's going to be a whole new like when I think about it, my head goes crazy. My head starts spinning in all kinds of different directions. I could do this. This would be jump scares are a whole new thing. You can actually jump scare the audience as if they're the person, you know what I mean?
But can you make good art? That's the question. Can you make a great work of art with that?
Make the story right, and you you craft a VR experience that peppers in both like success moments of like exhilaration.
You don't give audience control other than what
Right.
direction. You don't give audience control other than what direction they're looking. You know what I mean? So
Right.
so it's not like a video game where you get to go over here and look around, you get to go over here and look around. You're forced on a fucking experience. You know what I mean? And but you can look around. So here's the thing, right? You know how you get the jump scare? Well, think next level jump scare, because now I'm putting a noise over here to make you look. And then you're coming
like
back.
surround sound.
What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like next level jump scare
See,
shit.
it's already becoming an art right now because you have to consider like Foley and like where to put it, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's just interesting that it will become its own art, like virtual designers. You're gonna hear that knit term probably.
Right.
Virtual designer.
Well, here's the thing about VR, man. I'm not cool with the idea of putting like screens like that close to my fucking eyes.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's not good for your blue light. Is not good for your retina, man. Like
I get enough time. I get enough. Exactly. And I'm thinking, because I've heard that the new Star Wars game, the Star Wars Squadrons, I think it's called. I've heard that people say that in VR is amazing. That you really feel like you're flying a spaceship. So, you know, I could see it being very useful for horror games, but for actual like horror film,
yeah,
I don't. It's just like that. I mean, it could be that
I think
medium would create that they would have its carpenter, like it's virtuoso.
Listening to you guys talking about the VR experience in horror, I had an idea. You know, instead of making it like you're a character in it, you could be like just like a floating head.
That's what I was
just there as a, you know, like to watch. You're just there as a watcher. You're gonna follow the main character. You follow the main character, so you can look in different area. You could play with your idea of like, hey, I hear a sound there. You turn around. You lose. You know, you can
Where
still
is
play
the
with it.
slasher now?
Yeah. So instead of naturally like having to like walk or something like that, right? You could just be like the observer.
I would think
live in the area.
Being an observer seems like an easy way to do it. I think it'd be more fun to set it up like when you're like on a really good in a really good haunted house, or you know how they like set up where they want you to look. You know what I mean? And you don't
but that would be like a game. Do you know what I'm saying?
But
it'd be
not
awesome.
if not. It would be a game, except you don't get to choose where you go. You know what I mean? The story is all followed. The only thing you get to do is you get to look around. So if you don't want to watch the story, you're going to miss it, but you'll still hear it. You know what I mean? In the room. But you know, most people, obviously, you know, it's like going to a movie theater. You can look at your fucking feet if you want to. You know what I mean?
Remember Strange Days, man?
Yes.
Strange Day, everyone was recording their experiences, and then you get your disc and like have their experience and like get off on all kinds of nasty shit that you don't actually.
Oh man. How boner inducing was that scene with why am I blanking on her name suddenly?
Juliette Lewis.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean she's so freaking cute.
She's great in that. Yeah.
What was great about her was she could make herself really hot in one role and then really kind of gross in another.
Well, no, what it is she's like
good at being hot and gross.
She's like because she's been doing it for so long. She started out as like a really cute little cute little nerdy girl.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then she developed into like this white trash chick body. But because she was Hollywood, she actually knew how to like convert that to be pretty. You know what I mean?
Right.
And until she got old, then it just stayed white trash.
Yeah. Time is a harsh mistress. Oh yeah. Thomas Salinas mentions the Friday the 13th video game is fantastic. Gives you these vibes because I was going to mention that game. I haven't played it.
Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight 2 is another one, I think.
That's another one where basically I think one player plays the slasher and the other players play the victims,
the survivors.
The survivors, right? Who presumably can like defend themselves. But I think maybe if you're Jason, you can teleport and do shit like that. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't played
they'll have abilities. They all
Yeah.
have abilities. One of the survivors can heal. Another one can do this. The point is you have like generators to open type of thing, and
Oh, okay.
you try to survive the killer. So the killer tries
And
to hunt you
escape.
down, right? And you can be up to 4 versus them, right? So
Oh,
you try to
wow.
start the generator that will allow you to unlock the door to get the fuck out. So that allows you
Oh,
to survive. So you have to go around there, do some things, but he's gonna kill you. And you can also help out and revive other people. So when you catch them, put them on the hook meat. You can go. They can try and feed like and fight, and you can
yeah.
guard them by the feet, pull them out, and try and get away from the killer. So it's that type of game.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
Awesome.
cool idea.
it's my 14-year-old little girl's favorite game. She's into
Oh,
horror.
hell yeah.
She loves that fucking video game.
Simon, you done
Good
raised
game.
your chillins right.
Yeah, that's some good raising. I like it.
Cheers.
Stalk and kill each other.
I never played the game, but I know the game or not? Because
You know it, yeah. You just described it exactly,
awesome.
dude.
That's fucking awesome.
That's fun. That's fun.
It's that game company's going on to make the Predator game where
Yep.
one person's the Predator and stalking everybody, and that is such a good game. That is like that game blows my mind.
Like I
Have you-
bought it for PS4. I need to buy it for my PC. My bro has it. It's the one I was telling you to get, Brian.
Oh,
we
it's
need to
the,
try. Yeah,
oh,
It's
dude.
so good,
the
dude.
Predator one.
I'm at your command, sir. Because that Vermintide 2 was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we need to get back on that.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I heard.
That's one of the
Stay
things
up
we do,
anytime,
Vaughn.
bro.
Sometimes we meet up on my Discord and we do a gaming night. So
Dude,
we
I
just
bought
hook up-
that game and
Yeah,
I
need
never
to pop
played
into
it. But I should.
It's pretty badass, but if you're like me, you have like a bunch of games that you've bought but you haven't played yet.
Yeah,
I
the
still
last
haven't
one I
played,
played was like Bayonetta.
Call of Cthulhu. I haven't played that. I've heard that's really good.
Supposedly
Oh,
the
yeah.
new the new updates to Hunt Showdown, another really good horror type of game. Supposedly it's very good. I reinstalled it. I liked the beta version, and supposedly it got even better.
Which one is this?
It's called Hunt Showdown. So the idea, right, is you go in and you can team up to I think 2 to 4 people, but there's different teams too. So you can have like 2 to 3 teams on the same freaking playground, right? So
Oh, that's cool.
the thing is, you go there and you're hunting down demons or ghosts or something, right? Monsters, and you hunt them down, you kill them, and then you have an artifact. So you try to collect as much of them, you try to get out of there alive, while the other ones try to hunt you down because they want that artifact. So it's the first one that get out of it gets or winning. So you start by being like versus environment type of thing, and then
Uh-huh.
you're versus the players to try and make it out alive.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, it's on Steam.
Yep.
Oh man, let me check
Mhm.
that out. Let me buy more games when I haven't even played
Guys,
half of the ones I
there's
already
so
own.
many- There's so many good horror games, though, man, and 'tis the season to play them in the
It
dark
is.
with your lady.
It is.
It's fun.
Yeah. Have any of you fellas played the new Call of Cthulhu game?
Mm-mm. And I wanted to get on that ship a long time ago, but then it got delayed into oblivion and then was canceled and blah blah. I don't know. There was all this stuff, and I never got on board it. And it did finally come out years and years later, and I saw it looked kind of cool, but that was forever ago, and they've come out with more since then. I never got to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry,
I
guys. I'm gonna have to leave. It's 10 o'clock, and usually I would still hang out a bit, but it's our celebration stream on the Hardline. Phil,
cool.
Phil just got over 500 subs, so we're
Woohoo!
going to celebrate.
Oh,
We're
that's
doing a
sweet.
giveaway,
Nice.
so we're gonna
Oh,
be giving
hell
away
yeah.
some merch. So I can't be late. So I'm
All right,
sorry.
Have a good one,
Much
have a
man.
love,
good one.
Simon. Peace
Enjoy,
out,
man.
man.
Later.
Thanks for coming.
I forgot to ask him if he got his 6-gun girl yet.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I did, because I think I mailed him. I think he just by accident only ordered like the big gun down, like the new issue, and said like, can you like throw like a trade paperback back
Do
in
I
there?
have
And I
to-
forgot to do that. So, and he said his daughter went crazy over number 7. So, gotta
Sweet.
make the chillins happy. Drew, how's your campaign going, bro?
we're moving along nice and slow. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got Six Gun Gorilla. Look how much book you get. It's bad.
Yeah.
Six issues. What did you think of it? Have you read it?
Let's see.
You can be honest.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Brutal. Okay.
I haven't read this. Now, when I was gonna read this, it was on my nightstand, and then I recently pulled a bunch of books off because I'm not keeping up.
I know.
I did a cleansing. Oh, it's all signed by you and everything. That's so awesome. Thank you, man. Man, this looks so good.
Yeah, no, it is good. It's visually stunning. It's visually stunning, but it's very heartwarming. You don't get heartwarming in a comic. I think that's why everybody's so extra blown away by it. It's great writing, but I mean the fact that the book is so heartwarming, I think it touches everybody, and they're and that's why it's so memorable. I know. I read it on the toilet, and so.
Yeah. Good toilet reading. I need to have a toilet rack.
Yeah, it's
no,
it's
I hate it because then my water in there will ruin all the books.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I bring my toilet reading in with me because of that. However, my rack does have magazines I don't mind getting ruined by the steam from the shower.
Who is your artist, man?
Adrian Sabar. Unfortunately, last year, he's no longer with us. He took his own life. But yeah, man.
Sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that.
You know what I was thinking we should do to get off that moment of sadness. We should actually consider taking either a piece of your comic, a short part of it, or have you write something that we can do a 10-minute Monster MD thing. You know what I mean? Because I have access to all kinds of resources here, and we could make a little
animated.
Well, I'm thinking about live action because it would be cheaper. But
you guys want to see something cool that I haven't?
No, I'm no interested in cool stuff.
Okay.
Of course.
Yes, we do want to see it.
Okay.
You have a live action Dr. MD, Master MD for us?
No. Just let me see.
What's up, PJ?
I don't think it's detecting that I have this open, so I could show it to you. Let me see.
I'm just installing the Call of Cthulhu game on my computer right now because because there's new games that I want to play but I've made a rule to myself that I have to play the ones that I have before I buy any new shit.
I want to do more gaming, but I don't because
I'm sharing this.
It could eat up your time. Whoa.
Yeah.
No one's seen this. So
very cool.
This is a little tease. I hope Luke doesn't kill me for it. He does. We'll talk it out. But this is a little tease of sketches for a Monster MD animatic.
Oh, hell yeah. Way to go, Luke.
That being, it's just a little GIF I made real quick of just this one shot I liked, I thought it was cool.
Yeah. That's great.
We laid it out and we wrote a script and we kind of are making something cool. So guys, just be ready for Monster MD to hang out and do cool things.
Very cool. That's cool. Then we don't need to do a live action yet.
Yeah. I'd much rather work with Luke than any live action Hollywood people.
I think
Monster MD.
I think any CG creator that will tell you that they aren't jonesing for an animated adaptation of their book is a freaking liar.
Yeah,
we would all absolutely love to have animated versions of our books. So here's the thing.
I don't want to get everyone too overhyped, but I mean, look at this. This is just sketches. This is going to look even more beautiful. Like Luke is a 20-something year veteran. He knows what he's doing. He knows Monster MD kick ass. He gets it. He wants to do this sort of. So we're just kind of dabbling. It might not happen at all. I don't want to get everyone too built up, but
gotcha.
If you see an animated animatic on Twitter sometime or on a YouTube channel, it's it's happening, and I might try to do something with it. I might not. I mean, it depends on if the right people want to get involved and will let me creatively do what I want. I don't want to be bought and sold by, all the big wigs. I'm not like looking to be. I just want to make what I make and enjoy it, And who knows, maybe a crowdfunder for an short animated film. Who knows?
If you make a little 5-minute or less, animated spot, you could probably raise more money for it. I kind of feel as though Slaughter Squad probably could have made more money raising money for a 30-minute cartoon than he could have on his comic, because
or like a bunch of 5-minute cartoons, right? Little vignettes.
Yeah.
And that could blow up on YouTube.
Yeah, and those little 5-minute bits that could easily be picked up by a larger venue, because there's all kinds of
do you guys want to see if we got some people?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man! But by all means, thank you, sir. And you shared this with us first.
Yeah,
we are honored, sir.
You're welcome, man. You guys, I mean, you're my friends, and you're like a badass horror guys. Like, of course, I want to share like Monster MD stuff with you first. Well, no, it depends. But like in this case, like you guys invited me on. You've been really gracious. I appreciate it.
You went up.
Thank you. Oh my God, I didn't think that could happen.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
I didn't think I could be any more successful than I already am.
I thought I had like just squeezed this mother, That's why you guys are like 100K, and I'm like, whatever. Who cares?
No.
You absolutely could reach that.
Once this gets in people's hands, I can see you closing the gap to 100K, and that's very doable.
I'd really like to get more customers and get more people enjoying this book. So yeah, that'd be great.
And that would be historic. Do you know what I'm saying? That would be one of those. There've been a bunch of them, or I should really only like a handful of like historic victories that this indie comic scene has had. When you would hit that, you're already like have done incredibly well. But that specific, adding another figure, actually like a 6-figure campaign, dude, historic.
Yeah, I guess so. Legendary.
It's
legendary, motherfucker.
I mean, just as long as you're, as long as you have enough books to sell, that's the thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to make this a business. I do want to open a website and be like, here are my books, here are my shirts, here are my stickers, whatever.
Well, also consider this. Like, say if you make triple figures on this crowdfunding campaign, right, and you have yourself, a lot of books left over. There's nothing stopping you, because it's in graphic novel format, from contacting Penguin Random House and seeing about getting distribution and saying, look, this book made $100,000 crowdfunding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh, okay. They're going to look at it. They're going to be like, yeah, okay, we'll put this in. There's not going to be a long discussion. They're not going to hem and haw. They're going to know you sold, you crowdfunded $100,000 and this.
But I'm not going to make 100,000. What if I do? What if I don't? I don't want to sweat it.
You don't have to sweat it,
bro. Don't forget the hood that you come from.
No, think of it like this. No, look at it like this. Captain Love, right? The first book made $3,300 on the campaign.
Oh, wow.
Right, that was it. $3,300 on my first campaign, and then after I had the book in people's hands, I made more than double that.
Nice.
Selling the books after the fact.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? So it's very, very, very doable.
All right.
In fact,
get it out there, everybody.
Yeah.
Get it out there. Let everyone know that we're going to print and that this book's killer. I'm telling you, there's so much I haven't shown.
Before you go
so much I've held back. It's driving
make sure you go to Bowker. Make sure you go to Bowker and spend the money to get an ISBN.
Yeah, I still need to do that too.
Yeah, in fact, you could Bowker. Yeah, BOWKER.
I think I looked them up and was going to go to them to get my IS.
It's the only place you can get an ISBN. It's the only place. They're the only ones to sell them.
That's what I looked. I looked at them then.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I have one. I think I have one for the 6-gun trade paperback, but I don't think I've ever gone through the process of getting the actual barcode. Because for
Dude,
some reason that intimidates me.
how many pages is Six Gun Gorilla?
148. And that's a
Man,
lot. Yeah. And you're
Yeah,
not
that's-
gonna
that's
read it.
true.
You make books, dude.
Yeah,
You
that's a
make
true
books.
graphic
I
novel
respect
size.
Thanks,
that.
dude.
That's
I
true
respect
graphic
that.
novel size.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I respect that. And most people are scared to do that. They say we're crazy.
So
But I'm
check
not
this
the
out.
only one.
So check this out. You guys both have Google in front of you. The coolest thing about an ISBN number, right, is like, okay, so search Captain Love, right? The first thing that should come up should be the Google book, if you're searching on Google, the Google book listing, or probably the Indiegogo campaign comes up. But if you search Captain Love book, maybe is that it?
Indiegogo. CaptainLove.com. Twitter,
It should be on-
Facebook.
Like, so if you
Okay,
search,
man.
if you search
Oh, yeah,
Captain
we're-
Love, yeah,
Right through. Oh, yeah. See the Vinny cover here?
Yeah. It's on. Yeah, so they show the video cover. I guess that's the one they like the best. It's the most
Right,
recent
right,
one I
right.
registered actually, but it's under on the books google.com books about Captain Love. I did not submit that to them. I because I have an ISBN. Google pulls it into their database and they promote it for you. It's
That's
a good
awesome.
reason to have an ISBN. It's the best reason that I could think of. Plus, bookstores need that. They want it. They and then obviously it helps with your sales overall. So
And
long-term
Okay.
game, ISBN
Okay.
is worth the investment.
ultimately, where do we want to be? We want to be in bookstores.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
I
where
want
we want to
people
be.
You know where I want to be? I want it to be so that when I'm about to drop my next book, like everyone's looking forward to it, like a really good album that they can't wait
Right,
to listen
right.
to. Like I want
Yeah.
it to be exciting. Like I
Like an
want to
event.
make thicker books, but not as Monster MD was kind of like awesome in every way. But yeah, I went so big with it. It's like it took a while. Like I definitely noted that. I don't like leaving people in suspense. It might have built me up a lot. I hope there's not too many big expectations over me, but whatever. I did my best. I'm pretty proud of it. But yeah, man, it's I need to. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought now.
That's okay. Remember who you're
I've
talking
got too
to
much
here.
in my mind. I'm like, now I have to add ISBN to my list of things to do because I forgot to do that, but I had looked them up because I was going to do that. So
Yeah,
thanks
it
for
is-
reminding me.
It's a very short process. If you're going to do a lot of books, if you're going to do a lot of books in the future, you could actually, and you know that you're going to use them. You can get like 10 ISBNs.
Yeah.
I actually have the 3 variants. I used a different ISBN for each one of those, so they're registered that way. So,
Dude,
Man, I want more of your books, man. I want more stuff. This
yeah,
is awesome.
Brian,
I'm gonna
write
read
a bunch
this
more
one
books right now. Write a bunch more books right now, man.
right now.
Right now.
oh man, I'm just super grateful for the fact that people like vibe with that book as much as they do. It's
Oh,
like
we got
everybody-
a special guest just in time.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
What's
How's
going on?
traffic?
What's up?
Hey, Sparkle.
Thanks for dropping in.
I'm sorry it's so late. I'm actually driving because I have 5 jobs, and Monday is kind of the busiest day for a personal trainer. Everyone tries to get back in the gym after their weekend of sins.
Yeah.
Being nice.
Margaritas.
How are you guys doing?
We're all right, holding it down.
See,
Yeah.
the trick is you make sure your sins work you out, and then
Ah.
you don't need to go.
What,
to
are
the
you
gym
supposed to
on
drink
Monday.
while you're like running or something? How does
Well,
that work?
sometimes,
I don't drink.
well,
You get a really, really, really heavy drink, and then you switch hands. You're doing curls,
Yeah, passive.
I know that Kronos from the band Venom is like a bodybuilder, like between tours. He's just bored, so he just lifts weights and he just gets in this incredibly buff shape, and then he can go out like on tour and just be like a complete animal and just drink Jack Daniels and like eat garbage.
Hey, have you guys seen the new promo for Captain Love with Sparkle doing the voiceover?
Yes. Very cool, very cool.
Have I? I don't know if I have.
Yeah, you just posted that today, right? Or was
I
that yesterday?
posted it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
well, let's while we're all sitting here and
Yeah, but
it's
it takes-
mentioned, let's
Yeah, let's listen to this.
Greetings, my name is Spade. That stands for Synchronized Protocol Artificial Intelligence Delegate, and I am living software. I want to tell you about this amazing person I'm blessed enough to be companions with. His name is Love. Captain Love is a space traveler and a famous war hero. He once saved the solar system from a madman's reign. Some people believe him to be immortal, but if you were to ask him, he would say he just hasn't died yet. Captain Love regularly and somewhat reluctantly finds himself on wild adventures that could potentially change the course of the solar system. There always seems to be a friend of his in trouble, and some sinister person, evil organization, or jealous person trying to kill him. Sometimes it's friends, or a woman's attention that gets him in a tough situation. But regardless, I am always there with him. I look after him, and I know him better than anyone ever will. He's a really good man, no matter what anyone else says.
The universe is caving in, there'll be love to rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right up there. There'll be love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Captain Love to
yeah, she totally knocked it out of the park.
Dude. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Very nicely done, Sparkle.
Well, anything for Captain Love. Although sometimes he kind of sounds like a dick, honestly.
Yeah, but that's its appeal.
I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Captain Love. Is that what it's supposed to be like, Drew? Is that what you had in mind when you created him?
That he's like what?
That we
Bit
have
of a
love
dick.
relationship? Yeah, that he's kind of like we love him and hate him at the same time.
Supposed to be a little bit like that. Yeah, I tried to humanize him a lot by making him a little bit
A dick?
edgy. Yeah.
He's just not a- he's just not a
You can
candy
relate to him now.
ass. He's just not a candy ass.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
High tea.
I think I made Wyatt and Monster MD a bit dickish. I mean, he has some dick moments.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
He's supposed to.
but the people that are always the most together, in my experience, are people that are at peace with their shadow selves. That's what Jung called it, right? It's like I actually allow myself dick moves. Like I give myself like a dick move, like a get out of jail free card.
So
Okay.
it's like wait. So you have do you have a dick day, like a cheat day with dieting?
Yeah. Or just like I think about more like I've got like a
I mean, I guess women have like a bitch day like once a month.
right. Well, for me, it's a dick move thing. So it's like, and it's never anything
it.
sinister. It's always like, oh, there's only one cookie left. I shouldn't eat the last cookie. I should leave the last cookie for like maybe somebody else in the house, right? I'm like, oh, got my dick card. Boom. I'm a
Dick.
cookie.
Dick move. You're the last cookie guy.
We have National Dickhead Day.
Yeah, I'm sure that would go over real well. Let's have national dickhead day. That would be let's
Well,
start
I mean,
it.
they have that
Yeah,
holiday
but
in Japan.
Yeah, we have a day that we can be dicks.
What? Well, you seen that holiday in Japan where they're carrying like giant penises like through the
I feel like if we had a dickhead day and we were just all allowed to say whatever unfiltered, it'd be like Michael
yeah,
Scott
man.
in The Office when he asked everyone to roast him, and it was like a total disaster, and he's like crying.
You guys, I'm the only guest that's ever been driving while she's been doing horror talk.
I think you're the first horror talk guest. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the first horror talk guest that
History.
in the car.
I will pull over because now I'm heading more into town and out of the country, so I'll try to be safe and I
Well,
don't have to guess anyway. So.
I was gonna say like be careful, please don't die.
With this. I mean, it's easier than like putting makeup on and shaving. Those are pretty hard to do while driving, but it can be done.
Okay, all right. The shit makes me nervous.
It's talent, man.
Well, I'm like the kind of guy that, like, when somebody's like, and this happens in New York, people will stand at the edge of like the subway platform and they'll lean over and look down the tunnel to see if there's a train coming. And it just, I want to reach over and just like grab them like by like their belts. Or
See, I'd be the opposite. I'd be the one that wants to reach over and push.
I'm just like, oh, like, you better not fall because I'm gonna not jump it down on them fucking tracks to get your ass.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, so be careful, Sparkle. Don't get into
I'm about to pull over right now and get gas. I didn't want to be talking to you guys in the Crunch parking lot. It's like a lot less ratchet to be in the gas station parking lot.
I can't wait. I hope there's an adventure at hand.
Right? I'll be right back.
They're actually very well could be because gas stations in Fresno and Clovis are usually pretty interesting.
Well, this is the Bonds gas station. So if you're a Bonds Club member and you use your Bonds card a lot, you actually get points every time, like, and then you save at the gas pump.
That's right, guys. Use my card. Save at the gas pump.
Okay, I'm officially at the gas pump.
I'm here to help you save, Sparkle.
Well, I wish you were here to pump my gas for me.
Oh man,
that's one thing that I actually do miss like when I'm having a bad day or I'm not feeling well, that we don't have gas pump jockeys like we used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One time I pulled into a place where this like gas pump jockey ran up and I was like, what the hell are you doing? You know, and he was like, I'm here to like take care of everything for you. And I'm like, all right.
Oh, wow.
Let's talk about my life.
No, okay.
And,
you guys see the show on Netflix where they have the gas that they're like gay though, and they do stuff like that. It's like a 1940s like show, and it has like everybody in it, but it's like gay Hollywood, and they have like these gas pump jockeys that are gay in the like 1940s, and they're supposed to like hook up with the people coming to get gas. I swear, it's like it's a real
Peaky
show.
Blinders? I don't know.
They're gonna pump your gas and clean your pipes.
Drew, you don't know what it's called?
I don't know
Check
what
your oil.
no.
Well, that's
Drew,
weird.
look it up. It has like it has the guy from The Big Bang Theory. You know the gay guy that from The Big Bang Theory. He's in it. He's one of the main guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
He's like looking up like gay gas station attendant.
Yeah, I'm kind of like it's kind of hard to guess that one, but let's see. Trying to go like Netflix.
My dad was a gas station attendant in the 50s as a young guy, and he had to wear the little hat and a little white shirt and tie. And there was this girl. I live near this strip club.
So is the show called Hollywood? Because it's Ryan Murphy's latest Netflix series, Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. It's Hollywood.
Homage to 1940s Hollywood pays tribute to Bowers by featuring.
That's all it's called. I thought it had a cooler name than that. I guess that's what it was. I saw just a couple episodes of it like a couple months ago, so it made me think of it.
Yeah, it features his own gas station and charismatic pimp.
I told you guys, it was making this shit up. I'm not cool enough to make up gay gas station attendants.
That part I knew. Yeah, I was like, dude, she can't be making this up. Like, she didn't imagine this. Dude, my dad he had to bring back the car of a chick who worked for a strip club after they were done. That was part of the service back in the day. That's how easy it was, Drew. That's how, and he brings it back to the strip club. He has to like give her keys, but she's inside dancing, and he walked in and everybody thought he was part of the act.
Is Sparkle still alive?
I'm alive. I'm contemplating how I'm going to get gas right now. Like if I'm going to use my card or my cash and keep you guys on. I know the dilemmas of life. Just like I don't want to miss this opportunity. So I'm like, I better call them while I'm driving so that I don't miss it. Like I am always determined for Horror Talk, whatever it takes for Horror Talk.
Yeah, we need to have you on Horror Talk more often.
Most definitely. Yes. I'm just relieved that when I came back, I didn't see like a flaming wreck.
I
Oh,
know
God.
what I'm doing. I'm a
I
pro.
know. I just shit makes me nervous. That's all I'm saying.
Sparkle's actually a really good driver. She's probably a better driver than I am, which is
Oh man.
I drive like an old lady. Actually, it's funny. I mean, people wouldn't think that I'm actually.
Yeah, I'm
cautious
super
driver.
careful.
Weird.
We got
I mean,
lots
other
of
than
deer
the
out
fact
here
that
now.
I drive and do horse talk, but this is a first for me. So
Nice.
that's
Oh, man.
driving and it's popping my live stream driving cherry.
Folks,
That is awesome.
I'm apologize, but I do need to boogie. I do have shit I need to do. But this has been real. Thank you so much, my friend Drew. Sorry I haven't been around lately, but I'm back. And Vaughn, you know what you're doing, bro. You are going to hit that 100K.
Thank
Sparkle, lovely to see you again, madame. Right, everybody. I gotta peace out. Peace
See you,
out in the
Brian.
chat, everybody. Peace.
Later, Brian. I love
Yeah.
that guy.
we probably are up to 2 hours, so we can pretty much like wrap the show up, even though
Okay.
it's so wonderful to have Sparkle here. We're gonna have to bring you on like another
I'm
episode.
so sorry for being so late. I'll come on time next time.
No worries.
Always late, but worth the wait.
Yeah, well, we should show we next time you come on, we should take a moment to show the last thing that you worked on, what was on Avail TV, it was called Men or Pigs, but what they called it what they
Day
changed
of the
title to?
Pig.
The Day of the Pigs. Yeah, we should show that next time you're on, because
I can't wait till one day we'll have to show the movie you and I did together. Whenever
see
that
it.
comes out.
everybody's face is all like, what?
They're working on the IMDb right now for our acting debut together.
Yeah. Well, I
You
played
asked
a
together.
a priest.
Yeah.
I played a priest in it. Yeah.
But it's not gay. And not a
It's not
gay
gay.
priest. Don't think like that, Bond Star. I know where your head was going.
Gay priest. No, Drew, you strike me as a straight priest.
Yeah.
But you've murdered someone. You've murdered a
Yes,
kid or something horrible.
That would be correct. I'd be the straight priest that's a cannibal.
Yeah, exactly. Cannibal love. Father Cannibal Love.
You should make Captain Love a cannibal.
Yeah, man, dirty him up a bit.
Yeah, he's not dirtied up enough.
I know. He's not really a dick. Make him a cannibal.
A dick cannibal. Buy my book.
I mean, aren't most cannibals dick? And all those really nice, like, you know.
I think eating
well-mannered
people's a dick
cannibals.
move. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
probably.
dick move. Unless it's for survival.
Even then, it's still kind of a dick move, right?
I still feel like a dick later. Yeah.
I'm just telling you guys, if this should ever happen and we're in a plane crash, you can go for my ass. Just go for it.
Well, that's the best muscle, right? That's the big muscle. That's where the good stuff is.
Yeah, that's usually where all the fatty stuff is for. It's gonna be like all marbled. You know, it's gonna have marbled meat.
Yeah, I mean, just because we're dying doesn't mean we can't eat with sophistication.
Right. On that note,
on the note of ass eating, I bid you adieu. Monster MD, bitches.
Yes,
Anyone
yes,
who doesn't like it can eat my ass. And I think you guys are going to love it. And we're going to print soon. So please get a copy. And thanks for all your support. I love you all.
definitely.
Thanks for coming, Sparkle. It's good to see you.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Everybody, thank you for coming. Thanks to the chat. We will be back for another episode of Horror Talk. We do these on Monday nights. We will see you soon. And back.